Our first award this evening is one that is not given every year. As a matter of fact, there have only been 14 recipients of this award since it was first given in 1987. The award is named in honor of Esther Peterson, Giant Foods consumer advocate, who took this position to new levels of respect and importance within the industry. This year's recipient, Joanie Taylor, is the Director of Consumer Affairs and Community Relations with Schnucks Markets. Joanie has been with Schnucks for 36 years, and over that time has proven to be a very effective voice for the consumer in the Schnucks organization and an equally effective voice for Schnucks in the community. For the past 25 years, Joanie has been in constant service as a board member and advocate for Operation Food Search, the premier hunger relief organization in St. Louis, to which Schnucks is the primary food donor. Joanie is active in both national and international food industry consumer advocacy efforts. She is a current member and past chairperson of the FMI Consumer Affairs Committee and brings her energy to a wide variety of social service organizations around the St. Louis area. Mary Ellen Burris of Wegmans, a previous Esther Peterson Award winner, understands what it takes to be an effective voice of the consumer. And according to Mary Ellen, Joanie's got what it takes.
Esther Peterson Award winners are part of a very special circle. And Joanie is so deserving to be in that circle. The characteristic that this job requires, an Esther Peterson winner, is to have courage, managerial courage. It's not always easy to present those sometimes dissenting views to management, and Joanie has been so good at finding ways to advocate effectively for her customers at Schnucks. I still remember the first meeting of the FMI Consumer Affairs Group that Joanie came to. She was so surprised, as she told it later, at how warm and welcoming our group was. Well, that was just what we did. And Joanie was soon helping others to do what those of us who came first had done, which is to share with each other what works, what doesn't work, and what might work better. Joanie chaired our group and did a marvelous job of inspiring others. But I could not talk about Joanie without mentioning her humor. We have never had a funnier leader. She combined that sense of humor with great strategy and with the ability to inspire others. Esther would love having Joanie in this group.
Before we ask Joanie to come up, I'd like to ask FMI President and CEO Leslie Sarrazin and FMI Chairman of the Board Fred Morgenthau to join me on stage to present this evening's awards. And now, please join us in welcoming Joanie Taylor.
Thank you so much. I have been in a state of amazement Since Leslie announced this at our Consumer Affairs and Communications seminar several weeks ago, it's amazing to be honored for simply doing what I love. And to receive the news while in the company of my peers was exceptionally special. My good friend from Wegmans, Jeannie Calaluri, was sitting next to me, and she said she put her hand on my back to give me a pat. She said she could feel my heart beating straight through my shoulder blades, and she was afraid she'd have to give me CPR. Well, fortunately, that was not necessary. Unfortunately for the rest of you, however, the speechlessness has worn off. What a special woman. Esther Peterson was a force of nature and an inspiration. She was a woman of grace and courage and substance, with a genuine affection for others. I especially love her endless optimism and energy. She once said, "I just love everything. I wake up in the morning excited. There are so many things to do. There's no end to things that can be done. That's for sure." I am so grateful to her for pioneering the position that I have been so privileged to hold at Schnucks for the last 28 years. And I'm grateful to the Schnuck family for recognizing the value of this position, for trusting me to lead this team, and for creating a culture that doesn't just expect, but actually empowers every Schnucks teammate to grow and serve. Since taking on this role, I've reported directly to 3 members of the Schnuck family. Terry actually hired me and gave me the blessing to create the department as I saw fit to best serve the customer in the community. While reporting to Scott, he once referred to me as the company conscience. And at a meeting several years ago, as I prefaced my 3rd or 4th interjection on behalf of our customers with, "Look, I'm really sorry to be such a pain in the ass, but," it was Todd that pointed out, "Isn't that what we pay you to be?" Scott and Todd, from the day I was hired 36 years ago, I felt like a member of your family, which technically means I've been a Schnuck a few months longer than I've been a Taylor. Speaking on behalf of the Taylor family, well, it takes a team to be a teammate at Schnucks, and the one I have at home deserves as much credit as any. Here with me tonight, my husband, Rick, my sons, Brian and Mark. The home team in St. Louis consists of Jerry, Julie, Julia, Jackson, and Joanie. Jerry's my mother and my #1 sounding board. My daughters-in-law, Julie and Julia. My grandson, Jackson, and don't get me started, although I will show pictures later. Last but not least, Johnny Long John, and he's a dachshund. On behalf of the small but mighty Taylor team, the Taylor family would like to thank the Schnucks family for the countless ways that being part of yours has shaped ours in such positive and wonderful ways. And speaking of families, I can't leave out the very special one that exists at FMI. From the first day that Dagmar invited me to take a seat at the table that Mary Ellen Burris described, and I think Sue Bora was there too, I have witnessed the power of collaboration and the unselfish sharing of collective wisdom, all for the collective good of the industry, but more importantly, the consumer. And if that wasn't enough, I've gained lifelong, loyal friends. As I struggled to find just the right words to convey my feelings about the role that I have been blessed to play at Schnucks, I found these. I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and found that life was service. I acted, and behold, service was joy. Indeed. Thank you so much for this honor, this award, and a celebration I will treasure forever. Thank you.
Congratulations.